Hello and welcome to another ISACA LinkedIn Live. My name is Paul Phillips and I'm the Director of Event Content Development for ISACA. And today we are here to talk about AI innovations. And more specifically, we want to discuss the upcoming AI innovation workshop ISACA will be hosting in Dublin, Ireland on October 22nd of this year. And I am joined by the two facilitators of that workshop, Ramses and Megan. And I'm going to allow each one of them to introduce themselves. And then we're going to get into a discussion. But before we do that, if you are joining us, please let us know where you're joining us from. Put it in the chat. We typically have people join from all over the globe, and we want to know where you are joining us from. Also, if you have any questions, also put those in the chat, and if we have time, we will address those questions. Now, with that being said, let's start with Ramses. Ramses, just tell us a little bit about yourself so the audience can know who you are.
Absolutely. Hello, Paul. Hello, everyone. This is Ramses Gagio here, live from Barcelona, Spain. This is home for me. I'm pretty excited with the conversation of today and the thing that is going to happen on October the 22nd, as Paul was explaining. I have been International Vice President at the Board of Directors of ISACA worldwide. I am President of the Barcelona chapter, which is truly an honor. And I have just recently been inducted into the ISACA Hall of Fame, which is certainly a blessing. I mean, the things that I am doing and I have been doing for ISACA, with ISACA, through ISACA, the topics, the insights, regarding auditing and governance and assurance, the way they are accelerated these days with AI and machine learning are second to none. So I'm pretty excited with today's conversation and getting ready I'm privileged for the thing in Dublin, Paul. Thank you for having me, and thanks everyone once again.
Great. Thank you, Ramses. Megan.
All right. Thanks so much for having me today. I'm excited to be here with Paul and with Ramses and to be talking about our upcoming session in Dublin. I work in the financial services industry, but am a regular facilitator and speaker for the Institute of Internal Auditors and ISACA. So I'm excited to be able to talk about the rapid pace of change that we're seeing and what that means from a risk management, compliance, control, and audit perspective, and how we can be prepared to assist our organizations through that.
Great. Thank you, Megan. And before we get started, I wanted to acknowledge some of the people that have joined us. We have people from Senegal and Michigan and Paris and Dallas, Texas and Montreal, Wisconsin, Northern Virginia, Bangladesh, Colombia. So thank you all for joining us. Finland. I've always wanted to go to Finland. Thank you for joining us, guys. Hopefully you'll find this video valuable. And if you can, please share this video with your friends, especially those that are interested in AI. Now, speaking of AI, it's all the rage, right? There's a lot of conversations in the media, a lot of conversations at conferences that we attend, although we know it's been around for a little while. So we just want this to be an informal conversation before we get into the nuts and bolts of the workshop. So let me start with Megan. What are your thoughts? Why is this so exciting? And let me ask a more specific question. What is your predictions? How is this going to play out as far as AI is concerned, especially on the corporate world, like audit and assurance and other areas in business?
All right, great question. So I think one reason this has become so exciting and so much of a headline, as you mentioned, it's hard to open any sort of email with headlines and not see AI. But I think it's because we are now, as users, as day-to-day users of things like ChatGPT, we have the tools in our hands, that generative AI, and we are able to start to see directly some of the transformative power of AI, even if it's just in a very small case. And so with that being very mainstream now and something we're seeing all the time, every day, a lot of organizations have realized that in order to stay relevant and competitive, they're going to have to adapt and adopt that innovation into their business places. As far as my prediction, I think that there will be some major AI transformative events like I guess on the automotive world, self-driving vehicles. But I do think that there are going to be a lot of uses of AI in much smaller ways. So seeing things like day-to-day productivity enhancements and, just making everyone's lives easier with how we, capture notes from meetings, things that are very basic. And so I think there'll be a range or a spectrum where you're going to see all types of transformative initiatives. So it'll be really exciting to see some of those things in that middle line. That's not just what we're seeing today, not just the major life-changing initiatives, but where are things going to play out in that middle ground? How are we going to see how businesses are able to optimize what they're doing and better serve their customers with AI?
Wow, I like it. Your thoughts, Ramses, on the same question?
Well, absolutely. And I fully agree with Megan. But I think that artificial intelligence and machine learning are so attractive because they amplify our human inabilities, may I say, or abilities, if you will. But it multiplies our capabilities of understanding the world around us. And when I say the world around us, especially in digital, and actually your question, Paul, was about auditing, assurance, and governance of the enterprise IT, it is made out of numbers and different sources of the truth. Am I right? So machine learning and artificial intelligence allows us to understand it in a better way, to have, I don't know if better decisions, but at least have the right information at our fingertips, as Megan was saying. So it accelerates the way we used to have an audit made. And I say with respect for the future of the profession of auditing, but what it used to take, I don't know, weeks, days. I mean, a team of 7 people, super young, experienced professionals or veterans in the house. I mean, you can do it with 3 or 4 algorithms just to get the right insights in terms of auditing, in terms of assurance. So let me put it this way, and I know that we will amplify this comment, but it shows it expands our human abilities / inabilities when it comes to dealing with numbers. We humans are not very good, while the algorithm does it in milliseconds or in nanoseconds. So I think it has to be we have to approach it in a respectful way. And I always say, and I'm pretty sure that everybody connected will agree, that let the machines do the work. So let's celebrate AI, let's celebrate machine learning, but let's not forget being humans. Trust and verify. So I think that there's a lot in there, and I'm pretty sure that we will talk about that in Dublin and of course in this conversation. But let the machines do the work. They help, they accelerate, they multiply, they expand. But let's make sure that we are doing the right things rightly in terms of ethics, of course, compliance, and everything in the middle, Paul. So yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, Ramsey, you said let the machine do the work. Does that mean, in your opinion, that AI may cause some job losses?
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, let's not be naive or romantic. Of course, that's human history. There has been different jobs going because of digitalization. But while I see that as a threat, and of course we can talk, and we will talk certainly on the social aspect and the social impact of that. I don't want to lie anyone. Yes, because they accelerate, multiply, expand the way some jobs are being done today, or at least a great deal of the job. So auditing, law, being a lawyer, I mean, getting insights on different cases about a specific topic around the world, you can get it in seconds, right? So let's not be naive. The answer to your question, which is very pointed, Paul, is yes. However, and I don't want to be sound regular, but it's an opportunity as well. I mean, learning how to prompt, how to write the prompt the right way, how to use ChatGPT. Now I'm dealing with image creation. And I think that the crossroads of AI and everything, but AI and art, AI and law, AI and healthcare, I mean, the opportunity is massive. While I don't want to mislead anyone, so yes, that will surely mean some jobs being obsolete, because again, let the machines do the work. The specific job. Other things that are very human, machines will probably never do it as well as we do. But data crunching and crunching numbers and understanding patterns and different instances of the truth in a super correlation sort of world, the answer is yes, Paul, unfortunately, and we do the machines do the work. But again, the opportunity is massive in terms of ensuring that the job is, that the work is being rightly done with ethics and compliance and everything in the middle. So yes, I think that's a very interesting question, Paul. Absolutely.
Good and great. Megan, I have an interesting question for you. So you're probably familiar with Terminator, the movie, and iRobot. So my question is another prediction question. Is that a possibility with AI, in your opinion? I know it sounds like a silly question, but I've actually listened to some testimony in front of Congress where some people suggest that it's possible. What are your thoughts?
I don't think that it's possible to get to that level of where machines or robots are taking over the world. I do think that there are going to be things that come up as we further use AI and robotics and machine learning, where we begin to see human-like interactions, human-like behaviors, and we do see more use of robots for a variety of things. But as Ramsey's hinted at, people are still necessary in this. People are necessary to keep these models, keep these AI services and tools functioning, and to evaluate and use the outputs that come out of them. So I don't think machines are going to take over the world. I do think they're going to become a very valuable part of our day-to-day lives. But I think that we will have processes in place. And if you look at what a lot of the government entities are putting out, like the EU, the United States is putting out information through NIST, through even the United Nations itself. So there's all different types of things that are being published about how to better protect ourselves. I think if we adapt and adopt those frameworks and those standards and those controls, we will keep it a safe, functional environment to where we don't get into some sort of scenario that is on an extreme where they're taking over.
And Paul, if I may say, and
Yes.
I absolutely, once again, I agree with Megan, but let's not forget that we call those movies, and there are many others, right? Like Her, with the voice of Scarlett Johansson and others, but let's not forget that we call them science fiction. I like to see them more and more science as time goes by, and less fiction. Of course, we will not get to that Terminator point or Isaac Asimov's The 3 Laws of Robotics, that they are perfect. By the way, I mean, they are not real. So Isaac Asimov invented the 3 laws of robotics, where the first law, the robot will always protect its existence and etc. But they are not real, but they are good ground. Again, they are science fiction, but they are good ground to make us think about ethics and again, the right approach and the right risk management framework, as Megan was saying. Again, I mean, what is right? Where are the limits? I mean, when we get algorithms or robots, if you will, getting data collection, let's not forget we have a GDPR and other data protection laws around the planet. They don't have to do with AI. They have to do with data consolidation and data collection and data protection, right? So, but I think that it's very good that we think about those science fiction movies, more and more science as time goes by, and the things that the algorithms are doing these days are second to none, impressive progression, and less fiction. But they set a good baseline or ground in order to make to enhance and to foster the conversation, Paul. Absolutely, yes.
Great. Well, thank you both. So I want to pause and recognize some people that have joined us from Brazil and San Diego and South Africa. Thank you guys for joining from Turkey. I'm in a conversation with 2 AI experts. They're also experts in audit and assurance and security. In Ramses and Megan will be the facilitators of our upcoming AI innovation workshop on October 22nd in Dublin, Ireland. So if you have a question, feel free to ask a question. If we have time, we will get to it. So let's talk about what we're really here to talk about is the workshop. I'm so excited about this workshop. Why? Because it's a little bit different from what we've done in the past. So if you know anything about ISACA, we always do a pre, and we used to do a post workshop 1 to 2 days right before our conference, whether it's in Europe or Africa or North America. This year, we will be doing the same thing, a pre-workshop that is going to be different, which is why we're calling it an innovation workshop. We're going to allow the attendees to have some say. In other words, they will choose, they're going to be broken up into different groups. They will, and we're going to talk about what those groups will consist of. and they will be able to choose their own break times and their location for their breakout sessions. We want this to be innovative. We want it to be creative, but we also want to foster an atmosphere of learning. So if you are interested in learning more about AI, and you're going to be in the Dublin area, you should consider registering. So let's talk about this workshop. Again, Ramses and Megan are going to be our facilitators. We're going to start with the keynote address that's going to be done by Ramses. So that's the very first thing we're going to do. And I'm putting these two on the spot. As I said, this is an unscripted conversation, which is why I like to do it. So either one of you, what do you want the audience to know about this particular workshop? What are you excited about? Why don't we start with you, Megan? What are you excited about?
Okay. Thank you so much. I am excited because, as you mentioned, Paul, this is going to be a really hands-on interactive session. And one of the things that we're going to explore is really, what does this mean? What is this transformation? What does this AI focus mean for us as not just auditors and governance and risk professionals doing our day-to-day jobs? So we'll be able to adopt some of this innovation for our own capabilities. As Ramses mentioned earlier, we'll have conversations about things like data analytics and being able to do much more expansive audit testing and give us very helpful information. So we'll take that lens in this workshop. But then we're going to talk about, from a bigger perspective, how all of us from all different types of governance, risk, compliance, operations domains, how can we add value to our organizations as they are pursuing strategic innovation initiatives, and what can we do to make sure that those are likely to succeed so that we can carry out strategies for our organizations, but to do that in a safe manner, putting in effective risk management and controls. So we're going to arm the participants with lots and lots and lots of resources that they will be able to use as they go back to their day-to-day as AI continues to transform. So it will not only be hands-on there, but very practical in that we're going to be giving so much to the participants to take back into their day-to-day jobs, whether, again, it's from a direct perspective in their day-to-day work or adding value to the organization through assurance work, consulting work, advisory work.
I love it. I love it. Sounds exciting.
Absolutely.
So Ramses,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You're going to start us out. You're going to kick us off. So give us some little tidbits of what you may include in your keynote address.
Absolutely. Actually, the title of the keynote address within the AI Innovation Workshop, which is I'm so excited and looking forward to it, it's called "It's Not Machine Learning, It's Human Teaching." It's not machine learning, it's human teaching. So the whole idea of the keynote, and again, as Megan was saying, we will get answers to relevant questions. And as I said before, trust but verify, let the machines do the work, and let's not forget being human. It is not only about the way machines learn and the algorithm and the way they perceive and see patterns of behavior, the way they excel in fraud detection. That's fantastic, isn't it? For auditing, assurance, privacy, security, etc. But it's also the way we teach them, the way we learn, on the way we humans, the way we, again, get amplified, multiply, accelerated. So the way machines and the 4 types of machine learning that exist, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning, and deep learning, the way we can use the 4 of them, 1 or 2 of them are already a thing of the past. I say, excuse me? Well, yes. I mean, this thing has not even started, or it has started already, but 2 of the 4 models are already a thing of the past. I mean, and then Megan and myself, we will talk about the future of now. AI is in the moment of now, the future so present. And my whole keynote and the way we will be moderating the AI Innovation Workshop, the unique opportunity of, as I said before, getting answers to what happens if there are unintended consequences. So the results are faulty, what happens if it's biased, whose fault it is, who's liable. All those things are have question marks at the end. We will make sure, Meg and myself and the whole ISACA at large, we will make sure that attendees get out there from the room in Dublin with answers. And the opportunity of talking about robot process automation, the way of automation and the way we can use natural language processing. You interact with ChatGPT, literally asking a question as you would do to your partner, to your daughter, your son. I mean, that's magical to my eyes. And last but not least, Paul, the unique opportunity of understanding, as Megan was saying, we will provide with, I don't know, tons of resources. One being the ISO 42001 management of AI system, the ISO 38507, which is governance of an AI system. Governance. We are ISACA, so we know something about management. We know a deal about governance. So the ISO 38507 or the 42001. So all those things will be at the DNA, at the soul in the room in Dublin. So again, a unique opportunity of getting answers, as I said at the beginning of my answer, to your question. But I'm super excited, and I just can't wait for October the 22nd to arrive, Paul. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's great. I'm excited as well. It's very, thank you very much, both of you. So if you have questions, just as Ramsey said, yeah, many of you are probably an auditor or in security or privacy, any of those areas, and you have questions, or you're being relied upon by your organization to advise and guide the organization on how they move forward, if they should implement AI in any shape, form, or fashion. How should they maintain it? What safeguards should they be putting in place? This is a place to come. I will hopefully you will join. Now let's talk a little bit more how it's going to work. Ramsey's going to kick us off. We're going to have breakout sessions based on groups. Those groups are going to be based on our domains: privacy, audit, security, emerging technology, and I think I'm always missing one.
I believe it's governance.
Governance. So there you have it. Right. Thank you. We're a team here. So all of those domains. So you will be able to choose which group you want to be a part of, and there will be a business case that your group will work through. At the end of the day, you guys will be able to come back and share your discussions, your findings, your challenges, ask your questions, and these professionals here, Ramses and Megan, will be there to help guide you through some of those challenges and answer some of those questions. And one of the things I like most about this workshop is that you will walk away, maybe not on the day of, it may be via email, but you will get a hard copy, a deliverable that you can use. So it's not just discussion. I see we have a question here from Brian. It says, one question is, random is, why are people so against governance? So how can we make it clear and get them excited about it and how it helps their company? So why are people so against governance, and how can we get it, make it clear? Who wants to take that?
May I say something? Back to Brian, but and of course, Megan, I want to hear your answer. But governance and governance of the enterprise IT is about, Brian, that's for you and for everyone listening today. This is ISACA Live. Setting a strategic direction, making sure that objectives are met, ascertaining that the risks, in plural, please, are managed, and making sure of the responsible use of resources. Let me say it again. Strategy, tactics, risk management, and responsible use of resources, performance management, if you will. So if people are against that, they are against common sense. Strategy, tactics, risk management, and performance management. When you pull in AI, I'm assuming, Brian, that your question was in general, but also related to AI, unless you define the right strategy, tactics, risk management framework, and performance management of an AI system, or any system for the matter. I mean, whoever is against governance, with all due respect, I say it twice, they don't understand management, or they don't understand economics, they don't understand the world around us. The contrary of this is chaos, am I right? The contrary of strategy, tactics, risk management, and performance management is chaotic, So if people are against that, and again, related to AI, people are against defining, measuring, putting indicators, right? Metrics, observing. Observability is great in the AI. It's necessary in the AI arena, but that's my answer. But of course, on the 22nd, I will make sure, Brian, to make it longer, But remember, setting a strategic direction, making sure that objectives are met, ascertaining that the risks are managed and the responsible use of resources at large or with an AI system. That would be my answer, Brian. And if people are against that, they are towards a chaotic approach, and I think that I tend to disagree with that, of course. That's my answer, Brian. Back to you, Megan, if you will.
Yeah, I'll just add one thing that echoes what Ramses was saying. I think that a lot of times people, management perhaps, are against governance because they don't understand it. Governance is designed to, as Ramses said, put in place structures to allow for organizations to achieve their strategy. So having that structure is what avoids chaos. And I think when we find barriers against that, it means we need to do some education. And I think that auditors, assurance folks, governance folks, risk management people, we're in a great position to be able to do that.
Great, great. I'm going to try to ask another question. I'm not sure if I understand it here, so I'll just read it verbatim. I'd like to ask the team the general question related to AI regulations. Some organizations are working to promote the rules and ethics correct behavior about that. In your opinion, so this is about ethics and rules, right? In your opinion, what could organizations provide with regards to permanent rules? So I'm not sure if I understand that, but I think the question is asking what could governance, what's rules, what policies can organizations put in place as it relates to governance and especially ethics? And I'm sure both of you guys agree, and you've mentioned it 2 or 3 times, Ramses, ethics. So before we answer that question, why is ethics important when we talk about AI? Why don't you answer that question, Ramses? And then I want you to answer, Megan, is what can organizations, what policies can they put in place to promote ethics in their systems? Ramses, you first.
Sure, I'll be short, because we need to, as humans, we need to be sure, we need to ensure that the algorithm is properly designed, that the ethics is not biased. If we are using it for, giving us advice on an investment, or we are using it in the law arena or healthcare, we need to make sure that it's not biased, that it's fair. Remember when GDPR, and I know I'm talking about data protection, but GDPR or any other data protection law talks about fairness and proportionality and being relevant and fair. Well, AI regulations, or at least the 2 ISOs that I have just mentioned before, the 38507 and the other one is, we need to be sure as humans that the machines are doing a fair work and they are not biased. So ethics is on top of mind these days. And when we check surveys and different resources, it's compliance and ethics, compliance and the limits of the algorithm. What I said before, let the machines do the work. All right, what kind of work? Is it the right one? So that's my take and short answer on ethics is top of mind for everyone, because at the end of the day, the outcomes need to be fair. Auditing, assurance, governance, what it provides, what AI provides has to be relevant and fair. Are you in agreement, Megan?
Absolutely. There is a strong need for ethics. And as Ramses has mentioned, and we'll really elaborate on in the workshop, there are a lot of resources an organization can use as a starting point for the guidelines around not just ethics, but all sorts of aspects of AI. And so there are things like I mentioned, the United Nations, UNESCO has published ethical guidelines. The EU has information and guidelines and standards around ethics. NIST has information on that. And ISACA also has a ton of information out there. So there is so much, and understanding what jurisdiction and industry you're in will drive a lot of the specifics, but your organization doesn't have to create these policies and procedures and rules from scratch. There is a lot out there to draw upon, and we're going to elaborate on that in great deal in the workshop.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you very much. We're just about out of time. So I want to thank Ramses and Megan for joining us for this conversation. Reminder, they are the 2 facilitators for our upcoming AI Innovation Workshop on October 22nd in Dublin, Ireland, where if you join, you'll be able to not only meet with these experts face-to-face and have conversations, but you'll be able to network and meet with other professionals that may be dealing with some similar issues that you are dealing with as it relates to AI at your organization. So go to our website, ISACA.org, and you can get more information there. Again, thank you so much, Ramses and Megan, and I will see you 2 in Ireland in about 2 months. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Something like that.
All
Yeah.
right. Take care, guys.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Thank you
so
very
much.
much. See you soon. Cheers.